Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So Ethereum continues to be in this channel, even though this trend channel got broken briefly on the 3rd of February, but the market recovered quite quickly. Here we can see the price action, how it developed from the June 2022 low. And so far we can identify only a 3-wave move to the upside. Here the market could have formed a 5th wave but failed. So that still leaves the option of one more high in this cycle. From an Elliott wave point of view, by the way, we're always looking for a 5-wave pattern. So therefore, the option for one more high remains on the table. Yeah. So especially with the latest one, the rally that happened into the December highs, here, which got rejected just below the previous high, with that failure to clearly form a 5th wave, that option remains obviously on the table, which is good, because it allows the market to still recover, rally maybe once more with Bitcoin in this cycle. But we also have to say that Ethereum obviously hasn't really outperformed Bitcoin in this cycle. So Ethereum has been lagging behind, even behind Solana. So that's something that has been quite frustrating for those who have put a lot of money into ETH, right? But so far, if we consider the ETH BTC chart, I mean, I've been tracking it the entire cycle. There hasn't really been the signal yet that Ethereum would start to outperform Bitcoin. I'm of course tracking possibilities. This is obviously the next option for Ethereum to start to outperform another potentially significant swing low. But it needs to it needs to break at least above this signal line at 0.032, because as long as we hold here without a break above the last high, there's really no evidence at all that a rally or anything has started. And this is comparing ETH with BTC. This downtrend has just been, let's say, too significant to hope for Ethereum to suddenly start to outperform Bitcoin. And, someone said in one of the last videos that, okay, but if we're bearish on ETH BTC, suddenly it will outperform Bitcoin, and then all those are, have missed it, essentially, right? Who are not acting now. But what do you want to act on? There is no signal at all, only speculation. If you just hope for the market to turn around, well, you would have bought when ETH BTC was down here or down here, and it just continued to go down. When the first signal happens, we can always act, right? But we have to be able to read and understand these signals. For now, there hasn't really been any signal yet that ETH has started to outperform Bitcoin. Of course, I'm watching ETH BTC, and it's due. I mean, it is due. That's all I can say. But just because something is due, it doesn't mean it has to happen. This is quite a deep pullback that happened here in this B wave. We're deep in support, and I'm not calling for a reversal, not without any signal, okay? It's because if you do, right, had I done this somewhere at some point in this downtrend, you would have missed the entire Bitcoin rally, essentially, right? And you would have put your money into something that has moved, but definitely has been lagging behind Bitcoin a lot. And again, I'm watching for possible changes. I'd love it to change. I'd love to see Ethereum outperform Bitcoin. That might essentially be good for the altcoin sector. It might be a signal, a glimmer of hope for the altcoin enthusiasts, because Ethereum, historically at least, has been leading the altcoin sector. It's been a bit different this cycle, of course, but maybe it will come back to its old strength. So looking at the shorter time frame, the chart is still moving in this sideways range, essentially between the two different lines here. We've got 4 lines essentially. Let's say this could be seen as a broader range. I've got very narrow range boundaries as per the last update here between 2,857, which would be an upside breakout signal if we can get above this level, and 2,638 below, which would be a downside breakout signal, but really only on a very local level. The more relevant levels are the 3rd of February high, which formed here at 2,927, and below I've got 2,525 as swing low from the 10th of February, which is also quite significant because it helps us distinguish between the orange wave count and the white wave count. And in the white scenario, we could get another dip. But again, not clearly preferred until we get a bit of a signal because the last pullback is also in 3 waves, so it's corrective. But it's essentially just moving back to back in corrective patterns. A lot can happen. I talked a little bit about that in the Bitcoin video, that we don't necessarily normally try to get to the perfect wave count in a correction because these will morph always until the next impulse shows. What really is important is to understand what are the key levels, especially here. The February high needs to be broken in order to it is not the February high, the 3rd of February high needs to be broken to get out of this range. And the red line he needs to hold to keep the orange count alive. This is, of course, a potential for an upside roadmap to be followed through, possibly towards round about 3,100, I would say, in the orange count to form 5 waves. A first 5-wave move up is important to get an idea that a low has been established, but it might change, essentially, because the initial rally from the 3rd of February low is also just a 3-wave move. So any move up afterwards doesn't need to be a 5-wave move because it could just be a large diagonal that's forming. Still, I'm tracking this as 5 waves because it could just be an A wave, right? It could just be the A wave of a 3rd wave, for example, and A waves can be 5-wave movements. Essentially, it's just important to understand we're in a range. A lot can happen here. It's really just noise if we zoom out a little bit, and we just want to have a wave count that works, and it's important to understand what is support, what are the invalidation points which are mentioned, but also that even if we break below the red line, we could still be in a bullish case, bullish scenario, following the white count, but then that would mean we might potentially test 2,400 to 2,270. For now, I am watching if the market can generate an upside reversal here, but the wave count hasn't changed since yesterday. The only thing that has changed is that potentially white wave B formed the top. But then again, we need evidence for that, like a break at least below a previous swing low, especially the solid red line, because the decline is in 3 waves, which indicates that the orange count might be leading. But then again, also in the orange count, this is all just corrective price action. And there are many, many options here how this could be labeled. So it's certainly not, and that's what we know, it's certainly not impulsive to the upside. And we also don't have a clear 5-wave move up yet. And therefore, we need to be still on the side of caution and understand that we're still in a range. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, for additional content, check out our main channel, MCO Global. You can find additional updates for different asset classes. Today, I uploaded a video about Solana, the long-term outlook, how could the token unlocks influence the Solana price, and this is a channel for more in-depth analysis, different content, something completely different. And if that interests you, check it out. I'll link it in the description. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.